year-end reflections and future planning. That's what we're talking about today on Trucking Talks Live. Glad you're all here. We're going to do our thing, and we're going to be right back. You guys know what I got to do, so I'm going to push the button and just...
Paying too much for trucking insurance? What if you could save more by making one simple phone call and keep more profit? You could very well do just that with one simple call to Seabright Agency, 800-366-6466. Call now.
Now here's a question that all owner-operators and small fleet owners should consider. What happens when you access the unrivaled advantages that are available through the ES Advantage program? We asked Jeff and Charlie from Contractors Corner to share their thoughts on how they've been able to utilize the discounts and services that are a part of the ES Advantage.
Your business will make you money if you do well at that business. And ES Advantage in trucking, they do really well at providing those services. So the effect that ES has had on our personal trucking operations, not even talking about what we do on the consulting arena, I've been able to save thousands of dollars a year in fuel because of the relationship with them. I have a new accountant that I work with, trucker CFO, that I learned about from ES Advantage.
They're giving you that 10,000 yard kind of support from behind that creates a way for you to succeed, which is one of the things that we love, because anything you can do to help someone succeed is going to help them succeed. They make money by making sure you make money.
Now, if you're an owner-operator or small fleet owner and you would like to learn more about how you can drive savings to the bottom line of your business, the ES Advantage program has the discounts and services that deliver the kind of unrivaled advantages that are designed to help you improve your overall operation. Get connected with the ES Advantage today.
Go, Jeff.
I don't want to.
Dang it, man.
Hey, man, I'm tired. I've been out for 7.5 weeks so far.
Whatever, that guy.
I am that guy today. Even we had our coaching call with our business coach today, and as soon as I got on, the dude was like, "Are you all right?"
Right.
Yeah, it's just Charlie. I talked to Charlie here about this because he's my personal coach, and it dawned on me. I don't normally think of it this way, Charlie, but this time, for some reason, I realized I haven't so much as shaken another person's hand in 7 weeks.
Right.
I've had zero human contact other than, "Hey, I'm here to pick up. Hey, I'm here to deliver."
Right.
Use points for that if you could.
Dude, okay, so and then add in this time of year
Mm-hmm.
in our profession, in our normal lives where we need to be around people and be touched. Don't take that weird, creepy bastards.
Human contact is important.
Yeah, and then you just all the things where you and I have been working on and reflecting on our year and planning for next year. I mean, there's just so much, right? It's just, I mean, it can be overwhelming, but here's the thing. You have a support group. I've got a support group. We've got the close personal ties, yeah. Okay. We ain't bumping fists, right, on a regular basis. Right. But I'm always right there. I think, typically speaking, not for everybody. Don't look, I can already see you guys. Yeah. You don't call back, whatever. It's because I'm always busy doing something most of the time. Sort of, kind of, maybe.
He doesn't even call me back. 9 times out of 10, when I call Charlie, I get this automatic text back saying, "I'll call you back." And that's, the automatic one that the phone sends. That's not even him typing or anything.
Finger.
But yeah, he's busy most of the time. It's true.
It's one thing or another. And but again, I have the luxury. I've got the wife in the truck, right? And we literally spend half of my shift with each other.
Mhm.
Or, the last quarter of my shift, because she'll get up and we'll eat something and we'll talk and, things like that. So like the solo guys out there, I get it. I mean, that's one of the things that I did not like back in the day was, and you get around holidays, and I'm a cranky bastard come holiday time. I'm not a big holiday person to start
How's
with.
that
These freak me
different?
out. Well, worse. Trust me, it gets much worse.
Really?
Some years have been really bad, right? But I do. I get all kind of stressed out, and then I mean, like in your case, I mean, you're over what, in Michigan?
Yeah, just crossed over the border into Ohio, staging to pick up tomorrow, going to
Right.
Kansas City.
So and then you're like, okay, now am I going to get something to the house? Come hell or high water, you're making it to the house before Christmas. This I know about you.
One way or the other. Yep.
But it's a lot less stressful if you can get that scheduled and planned and paid and all that sort of thing. And I don't think a lot of people. Well, I think everybody's aware of that, but they don't take time to process it. So take time to get things right. Find people to talk to. Work out your support. And that's not the topic of our thing today. But let's talk about, what? Let's do this real fast. Craig, Tim, James Vaughn, in that order. And Cancel Coach came in fourth. He thought he was 10th. Just saying. So what's up, everybody? I see you there, buddy. Good evening. Matt Nissen, glad to see you. Josh McClain, Death is coming. I see you, sir. Death is coming.
Dun, dun, dun.
Nicholas Earl, glad to see you. Craig, like I said, TK, my brother from another mother. Hirschbach haters up in the house. Let the wives run the live feed, he said. Let the women host the show for a change. Hey, look.
Hey, to be honest, the couple of times that they've done that, it's gone really well.
Oh, gosh, there's a few. Even Mike was in here. Narc was in here a little while ago. Donna, good to see you. Michael Fowler, Bear Hunter, Trucker Tim, like I said, Chris Hamilton, who was busting my backside on text, he's like, well, I'm first. I'm like, no, I haven't posted it yet. But he was busy flying drones over New Jersey, so it's okay. Jim Wall, good to see you. James Vaughn, like I said, was in here. James got his insurance stuff working in the right direction. So that was cool, because he had that accident last week. And by the way, I was wrong. I was saying, you should have just let Seabright handle the whole thing. And I did say this in the chat earlier. And I didn't.
Tony Dennis set us straight.
Huh?
Tony Dennis set us straight on that one.
Yeah. Especially on a case like his, it was better to go straight to Progressive and not have the middleman, right? Because typically on a case like this, they literally just pay it out immediately, business to business. So they did send a check to IEL for like $3,100, whatever their estimate was for the repairs. That's already been done. However, they are not giving James rental truck payment or lost wages or any of that sort of thing. So actually, this is where Seabright's going to step in now and go after them for James on his behalf.
Yep.
So that's cool. And I think that's how it should. I had said, oh, you should have just let them do it all. No. This actually worked out better and this was smarter.
But this is the value that we feel that Seabright brings to the table. You call them and they give you actual, well, you should do this in this case. Right? It's different because it's this company and we're familiar with that company. Just do this and you'll be fine. And then if you're running any hiccups, call us back.
Right.
How many even just like I went through an insurance broker for my car insurance for years and years, and he was really good. But he didn't take that kind of personal interest in me. And there's something to be said from that. Future goal, beat Craig to be first. That's a good goal, Chris.
Cracked me up.
Oh man.
He said not dump Dino. He's, whatever. Mama Ida,
I missed you on Saturday. I just wanted to put that out there.
Right. Whatever. She's got more important things to do.
So for those of you that don't know, that aren't in our paid subscription group on school, Saturday was our monthly Zoom call that we do. And we built on what we talked about in November, and we started working on our personal vision for the future. And it was a great discussion. And I got to tell you, man, we can highlight a couple of guys that are really taking the bull by the horns on this stuff.
Right.
And they're doing the hard work and
Mark Ollinger,
and laying down that roadmap to their future. It's pretty exciting stuff.
Family, that's a reasonable excuse.
So that's going to lead right into, Charlie, what we said we were going to talk about today and haven't yet. Right. So I was listening to Rutherford today, and you guys all know we respect the man. He's been around and doing similar things to us for a really long time. And he was having a conversation with, I don't know who, because I got to the show a little late, but 2024 was just terrible out there in the wild. Terrible. Rates were down. No negotiation ability because the rates were so low for everybody. And he was talking to this guy about, did we see the bottom? And this is the first time in a while, Charlie, where I've actually heard someone say, I think we have. I think we finally found the bottom of this market.
Right.
So the question is, what do you do with information like that? What are you going to do for your 2025? You know, the reason we started the calls in November on this stuff in our paid group is I don't believe that you should be waiting for New Year's Eve to make your New Year's resolutions. I think the best time to navigate change is now. Don't wait.
Right.
So we're 2 weeks away from 2025, give or take. A little shorter than that, I guess. Gosh, time's flying, isn't it?
Right.
Start thinking. Where are you right now? Where are you at in your business, in your life, in your relationships? And what are you going to do in 2025 to move the needle forward for yourself?
Right.
Again, your business, your personal life, and your relationships. Now, I think people, Charlie, make the mistake of making those three different categories. I think for the entrepreneur, though, it's all one heading. Your business, your personal life, your relationships should be thought of as equal importance. Because what happens if your personal life goes to crap? What happens to your business? What happens to your personal life and your relationships if your business goes to crap? They're all interconnected, folks. So I think we need to start with looking at them all equally and sit down in the next week or two and start with where we are.
Right.
How did 2024 go for you? You know, for me, it was pretty rocky. I changed carriers. Trying to learn a new business model takes time. Build new relationships takes time. So my 2024 wasn't that great, you know, as far as the trucking business goes. What Charlie and I are doing here with Road Warriors, I couldn't be happier.
Right.
You know, we've been able to help some people. That's what we're all about. We've been on the phone with people and talking about their plans for their future. And, you know, we actually had, was it Hamey called you the other day because he couldn't get a hold of me.
Yep. Hamey.
Talking about
Replay Warrior.
Which one of these two trucks he's looking at should he buy?
He settled.
You know, did he?
Yeah. He's going brand new.
He's going brand new. Okay.
190.
Okay.
Financing is all working out. He's filling out the paperwork to finalize things. I'm excited for him. He's going to give us an update as soon as that's all worked through. And so that's exciting.
Yeah. And, you know, he reached out, and unfortunately I was actually physically on a dock when he messaged me I wasn't having a count, but I had to be inside and on the dock when they were loading me. Something in the load said I had to install. Something on the load said I had to inspect for damage before I left. Apparently, they've had issues with that shipper.
Oh,
Auto parts. They were all crated up though, so I don't know how I could have seen if something was damaged anyway. But okay.
well, that crate had a splinter,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
But so yeah, that's the type of stuff we do. So I'm really happy with where we're at today versus a year ago with Road Warriors, Charlie. I think we're making some progress there.
Well, I want to take you back just a little bit, Jeff,
mhm.
because you talked about how rough your trucking year was, right?
Yeah,
However,
objectively by the
object-
numbers.
right. But let's look at the wins for the trucking business, right?
Mhm.
You learned a completely different business model.
And let's be real, Western Star.
Oh, geez. All right, now he's done. I'm making him quit. I'm just saying. But anyhow, no, but really, I mean, we tend to we as creatures being the way that we are, we tend to look at just the negative and we dwell on it. And if there was one bad thing and 10 great things, man, do we die over that one bad thing.
Mhm.
Right? Got to take a minute to say, you know what? This went well, this went well, this went well. Like in your case, you got into a Western Star. You now know what the Western Star is really all about.
Mhm.
You learned a completely different line in our industry,
Right.
And to be honest, I think that it's probably not the best route for a solo,
Mhm.
especially if you live on the West Coast with the carrier right at Panther.
Mhm.
There are some hard sides to that, but you learned something new. You took on a challenge that was a very uncomfortable move.
Yes.
Went into it with a good mindset and a plan. And of course, the plans get broken up and torn apart and rebuilt and everything. But yet here you are. You're still in business.
Yep.
You're moving forward. Like I said, you've got an education that, hell, you even got paid to get the education. Let's be real.
I did.
So
And as far as learning the business, like you said, not great for a solo. It's not that I didn't make money, but I can absolutely say, and I've told Charlie this: if he and Rosie decide to make the leap over here and do, say, you're not going to do military because
right.
things, but life
Because
sciences.
I carry a firearm everywhere I go. They don't like that.
No, they don't.
Sorry.
A husband and wife team, especially at this particular carrier, dude, you can make bank, like a lot of money, like pay off a truck in a year and a half type of money. It's really good for teams. So I've learned that. Also, and I don't know, Charlie, sometimes you need someone on the outside. Did you notice any change in my passion for driving as I made the change? Did I get any more excited about the challenge?
At the beginning, yes. I absolutely would say that 100% certainty. It got a little rough in the middle.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God.
Well, not understanding the
Right.
not understanding the highs and lows of this part of the industry
Right.
really threw me for a loop. It's one of those things. If I had known, right,
Right.
what the cycles were versus what you guys do in OTR land, I probably would have just gone home for the holidays a month ago.
Right.
Seriously. And
Yeah.
it would have been okay because you're struggling just to make a truck payment right now, right?
Right.
So it's a thing. I beat you to it. I
Hey.
beat you to it.
By the way, cancel coach, just so you know, the 190 that our member is spending on that truck. He's young, early 30s, has visions of being here for a while longer still, has a good solid plan behind him, going in with a large down payment possibility, cash in hand. really in a great spot to do, short of paying cash for the whole dang thing right up front, right? Solid credit history, a good work history, a business history, knowledge, and solid.
Hamey, if you're listening, I'm going to put this out there to you. Hamey is one of our members that has shown me through his actions that maybe Charlie and I push him to become a fleet owner,
right?
As our relationship grows. I mean, the guy really does have a nose for business.
Oh, he does. Absolutely.
And I think he would do well as a small fleet owner.
And he's got the not responsibility, but you know what I mean? Like the focus to really do those things and follow the steps, right? It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hamey. You'll see him in the comments after the show, typically, Craig. Hamey. Anyhow, his name's Don. We like him. And so yeah, I mean, it really is kind of a cool thing. You'll see him in the Contractors Corner group, Craig.
Yeah.
What am I smoking? I'm smoking my garbage factory smokes right now. They're put out by Drew Estates, and because of how many I smoke a week, I buy these, and they're pretty happy. Nice Connecticut wrapper. They're a little thin on their wrapper side, but a really nice blend inside. So I enjoy it. And since I'm an inhaler, I can't have too crazy strong because then I'll just die. Let's be real. Oh, what's up, Matt? I didn't know that name. Good to see you. Hey, I'll call you eventually. Today was crazy, bro.
So I want to pick up on something you said, Charlie.
Yes, sir.
Because I read a study about this because of all the books that we listened to. This came up. You said that we focus on the negative so much.
Right.
So there was actually a study done where the conclusion was that it hurts more to lose $100 than the pleasure winning $100 gives you.
Mm-hmm.
Because we focus so much on that negative. Like if you were to win $100 today and then lose $100 tomorrow, your mind's going to fixate on you lost that $100. Crazy, isn't it? How our brains work.
Wait, sorry, going back. Bear Hunter, I got to catch up on Bear Hunter because he's writing paragraphs. So Buddy picked up his new Freightliner 20,000 miles in Oklahoma City terminal. 3 miles from the terminal, the welds on the tire chain bracket failed, dropped chains under tires and totaled them. Then he follows up.
I've never seen a tire chain.
Went in the shop, replaced 2 new tires. Then they tried to say he had to buy tires. Yeah, that would have been a negotiation thing right at the beginning. Even after the lease was signed, I'd be like, no, come on, 3 miles, bro. You guys, there's a problem. I think you win that pretty easy.
I'm trying to figure out. I've never seen a chain bracket welded on. Have you? That's weird.
No. Well, there could be that weld to the actual mounting bracket, that bar that.
Oh, right. Yeah, because comes out of the plate. Right.
So Matt is now not moving his license. He bought a truck today.
What? Well, that was a quick change, Matt.
Right? 180 right there. Bam! Business. That's what I'm talking about.
The fork, Matt says. Yeah.
Yeah. I bought a truck today instead. So good.
It was only 8 hours ago that he texted us all excited that he was going to change his CDL.
Right? I mean, it's crazy the way this world of ours works. Let's be real.
So that's another concept that I've learned from some books, is that successful business people are very quick to make and execute on a decision.
Right.
But what you have to pay attention to is how long it took them to kind of arrive at the decision point.
Right.
So, we know Matt, and I'm sure that he's been going back and forth in his mind for a while now. Yeah, when he decided to pull the trigger, though, it was time to pull the trigger, and bam, there you go, brand new truck.
Right. So, I mean, that's cool.
That's kind of how it was when I made my move to Panther. You know, Charlie and I talked about it for, gosh, seems like forever. And then it just came to either poop or get off the pot, right?
Right?
So I pulled the trigger.
He said he had the offer come through and he couldn't say no. There you go. I mean, look, sometimes those opportunities appear and you need to be able to act and not get paralyzed by don't be what is it? Analysis paralysis.
Paralysis by analysis. Analysis paralysis. However you want to say it, doesn't matter.
Words, tongue, mouth. Bustelo. Need my Bustelo to kick in soon. Cafe Bustelo. But yeah, it's crazy.
So Chris needs some Audible business books ideas. Right now I'm into anything by Donald Miller. I would highly recommend Business Made Simple and Hero on a Mission. Those are the two most recent ones I've listened to. Hero on a Mission is more of the personal development side, and Business Made Simple is designed to be listened to in small chunks over 60 days. And it helps to instill the entrepreneurial mindset, whether you work for yourself or for someone else. He makes a good case that I really like. I've actually been saying, Charlie and I were just talking about this. I've been saying the same thing that this guy says for years and years, but he is an actual writer and has good command of the English language.
Right.
So he says it better than me sometimes.
MR spoke good English, me.
If you want something that's more entertaining, one of my favorite books of all time is People Are Idiots and I Can Prove It by Larry Winget.
Right.
That guy is not for everyone. Donna does not like him at all. I find him entertaining and informative. But he is known as the pit bull of personal development. And there's a reason for that. He's not a nice man. He's also not mean. He does point that out. If he just ripped you up and put you on the floor because you're an idiot, he would be mean. But he takes the time to build you back up too, kind of like a drill sergeant. So he will let you know that you're an idiot and then show you how to not be an idiot in that book. And that's one of my all-time favorites. I used to actually, Charlie, make my students listen to that while they were driving,
right?
Because they didn't have a choice.
Yeah. You're like, here's some easy listening. Click.
Yep. So it sounds like we need to have a discussion with Craig. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's there.
Okay.
That's some boring reading material. What are you talking about? I guess,
I mean, if you're not into business, if you're not into personal development, I guess you're right.
Rah, 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 cheerleaders. Come on, Wimpy. You know what? You were being so mellow, but I get it. Whatever. It's fine, bro. We expect certain things. I get it. But you know what? You're retiring in 3 years.
Yep.
Right? I mean, I get it, bro. The entrepreneurial journey is not your thing, and that's fine. I mean, whatever.
Mark says it looks quick when they make a decision, but the due diligence in that could take time.
Right.
My wife and I have been working on buying a small trailer park. Yeah, so I have a friend from high school. Everybody's got this friend, Charlie.
Yeah.
Champagne lifestyle on a beer budget forever.
Exactly.
And he reads these books and says, well, the average CEO only takes 90 seconds to make a decision.
Right.
Okay, statistically, that's actually true, by the way. But look at the person's experience. How many years did he spend in the trenches working his way up? When you ask Adam Miller a question, because we've done this, he's, bam, here's your answer. This is what I think. But what you don't see is how many years he's been at Swift, how many years he's spent learning and growing as a person and as an executive. So he has things in his mind already.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
already
mean, he's
set.
gone through these scenarios. Should this ever
So
present itself, how do you act?
right, and so it does look almost miraculous to us mere mortals. But it's like when you ask Charlie and I a question. Unless we say, you know what, I don't know, but we'll find out, we're usually pretty quick to answer. Why?
Right.
Because that's we've gone through these things already ourselves. We've made the mistakes and we've had the victories. Um, and so it doesn't take us very long to think back. Oh yeah, during the Obama years, this happened and this is what I did and it worked. That's how I made it through the last 4 years. Same thing.
And it's funny because people like Chris Hamilton came in at the absolute worst time possible if you're looking at the industry of what it was doing, right? And he's been successful since day one. He's been profitable. He is one of those people that I am going to foretell and foresee doing really, really well on this climb back out. Provided he doesn't make the mistakes so many people have made before, that they increase the lifestyle with the increase in income.
Right. You got to keep that under control.
Right? If you can keep your expenses where they are now, man, you know what I mean? You're going to be set, bro. Craig said he's not going anywhere, by the way.
Well, then why'd you say it, Craig? Are you just trying to be controversial?
You bad man. No, whatever.
Making us scramble here.
Right?
So, Chris, I'm going to take exception to part of this. It may be boring, but so is reading the rules to Magic the Gathering. That part is true. And
Right.
Warhammer, not so much. But look at the fun and benefits you get later, Wimpy. Charlie, you're not a Warhammer geek like us.
Nope.
But
World of Warcraft.
the rules are in volumes of books. And each faction has its own set of rules.
Right? That's too
So
much.
it does get complicated. But here's the thing about success in business and in life, Chris, and this is what I wanted to get to. The rules in Warhammer change about every 4 years. They come out with a new edition, the rules change, and everybody gets pissed off because their old armies are no longer effective, and they got to go buy new miniatures for the new armies so that they can be competitive. That's not the case in business and life. There has not been anything new, nothing revolutionary in personal and business development for at least 2,000 years.
Go, Donna, go.
She's never actually read them. I'm just going to put that out there.
Whatever. I back Donna.
There's a lot of stories and things in those books that are really good. I'm just saying.
Look,
But yeah, so
there's
unlike other things in life, the playbook does not change for personal success and business success. Dude, I have a whole closet of shame. And Chris, you know what I mean by that. I got a lot of plastic that's unpainted in my closets. So, but yeah, and we were just talking about this in our meeting earlier today. No matter what any of these gurus say, you could argue somebody else said it. You guys.
What's up, Mike?
So, depending on who you listen to is probably because you just relate to them better. Right, Charlie?
You're right.
Get back on topic. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Whatever.
I mean, even between the two of us, there are literally people that will not listen to a thing I say. There are people that literally will not listen to anything Charlie says. But we both say the same thing.
Right.
Just differently.
And then there are people who, no matter what we say, do the exact opposite, get upset about it, and I don't know, Alexia.
Yep.
I'm scrolling. That was poor on my part. I can't help it. Whatever. Look, Matt knows. Just saying. He gets it. Uh, good Lord. I start a bunch. Let me go back through some of these real quick. Talking about future planning. Let's move in there. Future planning, my own truck by the end of October. There you go. Future planning, new career, new truck. Absolutely for some. Chris, since he's only been doing this for, almost a year, if I survive the bottom doing what I've been doing, so can't wait to see what the future holds, especially since I keep learning every day. Awesome.
Yep.
Exactly. Ida was chiming in back earlier when we were talking about, making changes and plans, exactly. Don't wait. Change what you want today. Start making those steps. Oh, and Mike was talking about, building a fleet. One of the toughest parts of building a fleet is hiring drivers and keeping drivers in seats. Yes, no question there at all. That yes, sir. That is absolute true. Speak it, preaching to the choir. Just saying. That's funny. Who says, Wimpy? Good to see you back on your regular name. Who says it's the bottom? You guys are putting the cart before the horse. Absolutely not. Actually, statistically speaking and running the numbers, they've pretty much determined, all those smart people that run the numbers and monitor the markets have actually stated, as well as people like Adam Miller and people in the bigger companies have said, we've seen the bottom. And we're now seeing the normal holiday growth.
Mm-hmm.
Not like the crazy holiday growth we've had in, a couple years ago, right? We're back to the normal times, whatever that is, because so many of us have forgotten what that is. We seem to be back into a normal freight type cycle, and that is absolutely showing in the markets. If you look at contract freight, spot rates, tender rejections, everything's moving in the right direction, and we are absolutely on an up climb, not a swing downward.
Right.
How much would you like to, I'm guessing you mean bet, 25 will be worse than 24. So I think that there's a likelihood that we could have a rough patch with the tariff stuff that may or may not happen. While there's a transition into either negotiating those contracts with countries and such, and while U.S. companies are in the process of retooling, some of those companies have already decided, with what was potentially coming and now is coming, right, to retool and relocate so that they're in a place where they're not subject to those tariffs.
Well, Daimler just announced last week that their plan is to retool and ramp up production of Detroit engines in the United States. So that part of the manufacturing is already looking like it's coming back to the United States, which is what happened last time, by the way, folks. When all of the sky was falling, according to certain pundits,
Right.
all that happened was these companies reopened manufacturing here in the United States so that there was no issue with the tariffs. That's what happened.
So Matt said Kevin Rutherford Freightways, a lot are saying that we're going up. And you know what though, Wimpy? Tell you what, you remind us next year.
Well, here's the thing with Wimpy though, Charlie. We know that he is a pessimistic individual.
Right.
So chances are, no matter what, he's going to think 25 was worse than 24.
Right.
That is a component.
And
I will absolutely call you out on that because I am not a pessimistic person. I tend to be more optimistic. And then when it's not as good as I think, I'm like, well, it could have been worse. I could have actually lost my business and I didn't. So I see that as a gain. Yeah, Army Kane, I think you're going to see rates increase in the next quarter, according to everything that we're seeing from, again, people much smarter than us, people much smarter than you, people much smarter than Rutherford, all of us, these math geeks that get paid a lot of money to analyze markets.
Right.
Adam Miller, when we talked to him at DAW, even he was very optimistic. But what he cautioned us was that you're not going to see a vertical climb.
Right.
It's going to be slow, but it's going to be steady. So don't expect rates to double overnight. Expect small gains over the next year or two.
The difference between CFO pay and the worker is over 400%. I don't care.
What?
I'm going to tell you, I don't care. Wimpy said the difference between CFO
Yeah,
pay
who cares?
is over 400%. The average worker can't run that company. They can't make that company profitable.
And that CFO is responsible for keeping thousands of people working. What's that worth?
Right? I mean, they're just never in the history of the companies never in the history of the country says have CFOs made so much money and the workers so little.
Okay, you're listening to certain news agencies, obviously, and we just can't have a discussion then. If that's what you believe, then you go right ahead believing that. It's not the case in my estimation, but okay. You don't worry about what CFOs make, Wimpy. Worry about what you make. Is it enough for you? If not, why not? And what are you doing to change that?
And you said that you're happy with your money. You're good. You're going to retire. You spent $20,000 on Lionel trains this year. What the hell do you care what the CFO of your company makes or the CEO of your company makes? I mean, do you really care? Go do that job. Seek the education, get the experience to acquire such a position, right? Everybody thinks, oh, it's really easy to run a business. I look, when you start talking about hundreds or thousands of employees, the things that you have to deal with are not what you think. You know, there's just so much involved in it that I don't want to deal with a company like that. I don't want to be the top dog in a company like that. I don't. I wouldn't mind owning the company like that. And I will make sure that we hire people that are good to run that business for us. And I'm going to do my thing on the side that I like doing, which is coaching and teaching and 2 days of trucking, right? If I get to live my perfect life, right? I'm just saying, whatever. Let's see. Right, Donna? The extra stress and hours, responsibility, skills necessary. I mean, look, there's so much. Enjoy the super stress.
Yeah, and I've sat down with several CEOs, CFOs, COOs over my lifetime, and I got to tell you, these guys spend years building the skills to do what they do. You did not spend those years building those skills, so don't talk to me about what they make. They make what the market says that they make. You make what the market says you make. That's it. And with that, I think we stopped that one. I'm done.
Yeah.
We're not going to agree, Wimpy. That's okay. You have your opinion. I have mine. Based on all of the things that you say on our channel, though, I'm a happier guy. I'm just saying.
Right. News people are liars, and that's why I stopped watching news in 2001 and 2003. Only watch the Weather Channel. Sometimes that's safer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, so looking forward to 25, right? What sort of steps are you taking to plan for your coming year? What are your goals? What goals have you set for the coming year? For the next 5-10 years, right? But specifically on this show, we're talking, what are you looking at this year?
Right.
Maybe part of your goals this year is to develop that 5 and 10 year plan as well. Yep. Right? Because you hadn't done it yet, or you haven't even thought about it. And Jeff and I keep kicking in the nads about it. And you're like, maybe I'll do that this year, right? Well, great. Don't maybe, do.
Yep.
Master Yoda says, do not. There is no try. That's best I got. It's terrible. I get it. But you get the point. You're either going to do it or you're not. Okay. Weird side thing, right? You guys know I wear this hoodie from time to time that basically says, bump your feelings, right? It was funny. I was having a discussion with my head doctor people, And it was funny because she's like, there are certain things that I do that I know are not moving my needle forward in business, in life, things like that. There is weird things happening, right? And she's like, and I explained to her, I said, there are certain things I know I should be doing. I mean, I preach these things to people every day. And yet some of these things I'm not doing myself, and I know that it's detrimental. She's like, yeah, that's part of the illness, whatever you want to call it. Okay.
The injury.
Right. So, and she's like, and what do you do in those situations? She said, how do you process those situations? And I thought it was interesting because she threw back at me what I throw at everybody else, right? When it comes time, what's the right thing to do here? Take your feelings out of the equation. You know the answer. What is the right thing to do in any given situation? And then act. Do that thing. Stop. I'm like, I try. She's like, no. No try, only do. And I was like, dang it. She Yoda'd me. Dang.
Yep.
And
They're good at that.
Yeah, right. And it was cool though, but it was one of those, like, I mean, I do this every day, and yet poof, there went the light bulb, right? So there's been some things, since that little meeting that I had, that I have actively used that and let that reminder from her, even though I push this all the time, right? I needed someone to kick me in the nads, and she's going to help hold me accountable. Right. So I'm taking steps that I'm very uncomfortable with in my mental health, in my physical health, in my business, and in my life. But through that discomfort will come growth.
Yes.
There is no growth without some sort of uncomfortableness, without that, I gotta do this.
So I got a comment on this one.
Yes.
Buy cowboy boots, spurs, and a cowboy hat. However, if you do that, make sure you put the cowboy hat right side forward.
Oh my God, he went there. I'm
just saying.
Wearing spurs backwards is all I gotta say. Because some people are all twisted up and butt hurt right now because I don't know, whatever, child support problems.
We just happened to see another YouTuber put a.
Go ahead.
We just saw another YouTuber that was wearing a cowboy hat backwards and thought it was funny. I'm just saying.
If you got kids, I don't care if you hate the woman and you guys can't stand each other without shooting each other in the face. You better take care of your damn kids. And don't come at me with some BS where you're talking about, oh my God, I have things that I need to take care of for me first. No, BS. Your kids, number one. You, second. Don't care.
Yep.
My kids, if they're not eating, I can promise you I sure as hell am not eating. Stop. Good God. This. Take a breath. Thank
Greg
you.
Hutchinson says there will be growing pains. Absolutely. Absolutely. In this path to greater success, to move the needle forward on a daily basis, you've got to realize there's going to be growing pains. One of the things that happens, and there's a quote, if I can remember it, that a lot of the guru types use. People overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10.
Right.
We try to shove everything into that short time frame, when really it takes years to build the skills, years to build the business, years to build a character. So like what we're doing right now in the school stuff, we're focusing on that 10-year horizon right now. Who do you want to be in 10 years? And when you really think about it, Charlie, that's a lot to think about.
Right. Sorry. I may or may not have jumped on Narc's channel the other day because I was triggered by this entire thing. And
Yep.
I was driving and I had to go speak my mind and share some insight or thoughts or what have you. And if you have sensible ears, don't go watch what I said there because I was nowhere near clean.
Yes.
Donna, do not seek out that video. No. Anyhow,
So Donna admits that she does this.
Thank you.
She says, I do that only overestimate what I can do in a day and underestimate for the week or the month.
Right.
Yeah, it's any time frame. You know, Donna and I talk about this a lot because she gets frustrated because she didn't get this or that done today. And I'm like, well, how important was it? Well, of course, in her mind, and this is the case for everybody, don't think I'm picking on my wife here. We think everything's important.
Right.
But if you could step outside yourself just a little bit and determine, was that thing really important? Or did I get the stuff that absolutely needed to be done today done? I think there's power in that, stepping outside yourself a little bit. Because here's what happens, Charlie. You beat yourself up. You get depressed. And then you know what you do when you're depressed? You sleep a lot, which gives you less time in the day to get the stuff done the next day.
Right.
Right? You get in that woe is me stuff. It happens to me all the time. I'll actually call Charlie up sometimes like, dude, I just, man, I don't know. My brain's not braining. I feel useless. I think I'm going to eat some worms. You know, all that stuff. It does. But you know what's happened is I've said I'm going to get all this stuff done today. I'm going to do 5 videos and I'm going to teach a class and I'm going to drive the truck and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Dude, there's not that many hours in the day.
Right.
So what's the most important? Well, my mortgage depends on me driving the truck.
Right.
So that has to be number one, right? The trucking business. Well, if I got a little bit of time, what's next? Okay, I got that thing done. I got about an hour before I need to really shut down and get my brain ready for sleep. What can I get done in that hour?
Death scroll. No.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people do.
I'm guilty of it every now and again.
So this comes from someone that doesn't understand what currency is. I'm just going to put that out there. When you realize money is just worthless paper, you'll laugh wonderfully. It's not worthless though, Wimpy, because you and I agree that dollar bill is worth whatever it purchases. I've told my friends before, I don't care if we started trading buffalo crap, literally.
Right.
If you and I agree that pile of crap is worth that gallon of milk, we have a transaction. Now, I can also make the money that it should be gold-based, but we're not going to get into all that because, you know, when you put scarcity in there, then you have a much better system. But money itself is not worthless unless we say it's worthless.
It has the value we assign to it.
Yep.
So Donna said, I've gotten better of late about not passing judgment on myself for that. And that's important, just so you guys know that. And just giving myself permission to get it done on a different day. You know, again, you can move it to the next day or the day after, right? But keep putting it on that list and making that honest attempt to get to it. When she was younger, she absolutely was really down on herself for not knocking out the whole list every day. And we all do that as people. We beat ourselves up over, we had these visions of grandeur. I'm going to do 82 miles of running today, 1,000 push-ups. And the reality came in and you ran 3 blocks and had to smoke a cigarette and drink a beer. I'm just saying, okay, maybe that's my life, whatever. And, you know, and then you're like, dang, I'm a loser. No, you put too much on yourself and you should be putting much on yourself. But give yourself the ability to realize I had these lofty goals. I did not meet all of them. What am I going to do to meet that goal next?
Right. And you know, in my material, in my frameworks that I teach, when you get into my coaching stuff, part of it is I will get on you about the judgmental thing. One of the things that I do and I teach is to do a journaling exercise in the morning and a journaling exercise in the evening. The one in the morning, I'm mapping out, okay, I've looked at my mission statement, whatever you have, I don't want to get too far into it on here, but you got your little life plan there. Okay, so what do I need to do today to move the needle forward and start saying, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this, whether you use a list or a story or whatever it is you do. Then in the evening, you want to revisit that list and say, all right, I got this, this, and this done. Great. Oh, but I didn't get those 2 things done. Here's where the magic happens. You're going to write down, I did not accomplish these 3 things. I recommit to accomplishing these at another time, which I will revisit in my morning journaling exercise. You know what that does? It gets your brain to say, it gets your brain kind of tricked into thinking that it's done. A lot of people have insomnia because they worry about the things that didn't get done that day. That's how you turn your brain off. You acknowledge it didn't get done. You recommit to getting it done. No judgment, just acknowledge. Right. No, woe was me. There are days, Charlie, where if I call my wife, all my kids are alive, nobody's pregnant, and the house isn't on fire, that's just good enough for that day.
Right. Well, I just said, I just left the judgment-free zone. Only had 45 minutes in me today, but doing just a little every day will add up and is better than doing nothing at all. And this is coming from the Duchess of Snails, as I like to call her now. Go ahead, sister, is what I have to say. Just going to leave that there. She knows what I'm talking about. Jeff knows what I'm talking about. Go ahead, sister, is what I got to say.
Yep.
Sorry. But yeah, I mean, it's important. Accept the wins. Yes. Analyze where you came up short and figure out a way to do better or move that, maybe to the top of your list the next day, if that's where the priority is. Or find a way to prioritize it in a different manner. If it's truly a priority, you're going to get it, right? You're going to do those things. Ideally, you're going to do those things that are most important to you when you need to do them. Every now and again, we slump, right? We fall backwards, we stumble, and we do the easy, crappy thing that does nothing for us. That's just human nature. Mm-hmm. Forgive yourself for that, recognize it, and do better.
I mean, how many people do you know, Charlie? And I'm going to say that you're looking at 2 of them on the screen right now. So we all do it, but how many people do you know that are still down on themselves for something they did 20 years
ago? Right.
So I can't do that because I did this when I was 22.
Oh, you're going to trigger me.
You know what I mean?
Right.
We all do it.
My triggers.
We need to let the past be in the past. Learn the lesson and move forward. That's a tough one. It's been tough for me over the years. You do something stupid. It was stupid. You know that your life today is not what you wanted it to be because of that thing. But why is that? It's because you keep revisiting it, dude.
Right?
That's why.
Address it, recognize it for what it is, build and move on, grow. And Dennis, absolutely. Sometimes you just don't want to do anything. And you know what? You need to allow yourself those moments as well.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about this a lot. It's been a long time since I actually played video games, but my phone's talking to me because I have the Hello Google thing turned on. It's humans are self-limiting creatures. I'm going to go back to our buddy Larry Wingett, one of my best friends that I've never met. You have those people that you admire, and it's almost like you have met them, but you never have. He says that, human beings are the only creatures on the planet that choose to be less than they could be.
Word.
A tree, what does a tree do? A tree lays down as many roots as it can. It grows as tall as it can, grows as many leaves as it can. It doesn't stop it. It doesn't say, hey, I'm about 5 feet tall. That's good enough. I'm going to stop right here. No, it keeps growing until it can't grow anymore. So yeah,
Dennis was like, yeah, I was just thinking that, Jeff, and getting ready to write that down. Definitely leave the past in the past. Well, to a degree, you need to remember it in that don't repeat the same mistakes over and over.
right.
You need history. History is important, but it shouldn't be what's driving you every day, every moment of every decision, right? Sorry, I clicked the wrong comment there. But I'll come back to that, Mike. But you hear these people, and whether it's business or life or whatever, oh, this unjust thing was done to me when I was a kid. So now I'm 47 and my life is this way because of that thing that happened when I was 9. No, you chose that path at that point. At some point, I get it. Bad things happen, horrible things happen. What you do is on you moving forward. You need to heal. You need to get the education from the situation, and you need to grow.
Yep.
Ida
Well, I'll
came
just
trucking because of bad things. I
you know,
don't want to overshare.
I'll just
She's
tell you
doing great.
part of my life story. I was on the path to become a university professor, believe it or not, at one point in my life. That obviously did not happen because you're seeing me here today. I had a tragedy in my life. We lost our firstborn son, and I literally, and excuse me, Donna, I lost my shit and went way off the rails after that, which threw me off of that career path. But it didn't stop me from being successful.
Right.
I'm just successful in a different way. Throughout my adult life, I found ways to teach people. I still teach,
Right.
just not at a university. And the way the universities have gone in the last 30 years, I'm kind of glad. I'm just
No
saying,
doubt.
I might not have that job anyway.
I like Mike's comment here. I've been on the get rich slow plan, been investing since I was 23. Now I'm just trying to set my wife up for after I'm gone. As a 27-year trucker, I know I'm not going to live into my 70s and 80s. Hey, I would challenge you and say that maybe this is a self-limiting belief, Mike. Maybe there are some changes you can make in your life now that will maybe help you get to those 70s and 80s, sir. I never thought I'd live past 18. I lived my life accordingly before that. Then I thought, no way in hell I'm making 21. And I lived my life on that plan. I don't know how I got through it because I was extremely self-destructive and risk taker like not many out there. Yet here I am, and I'm paying for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm paying for it physically, mentally, the whole 9 yards. And my kids and grandkids are kind of repainted for some of that stuff because there's some of that is reincarnated. Good Lord. But
so my mother, Donna, remembers her saying this, so she can't get out of it. She cursed us with children just like me. And I plan on cursing my children with children just like them. I'm going to pass it on.
Yes.
Yeah, Tim, that was like 30 years ago. Gosh.
Right.
That is something that I'll say that anybody that's lost a child, it takes a lot of healing after something like that. But I'm back on track now. Took a while, but like I say, so I got derailed off of one path and started picking my way and choosing another path. And I'm not Richie Rich, bro, or anything like that, but I have some really good kids. I have a good family.
Your hair's kind of
And
rich.
yeah, okay. You just can't leave it.
I love it, man.
You need a haircut, man.
I do
I'm
too.
getting all.
I got to cut all the hair on my face tonight. I meant to do it earlier today, but you saw how my day went. I did quite a bit of procrastinating this morning because I was tired.
So by the way, next time Richie shaves his beard, send me a picture. I want to see that.
Oh my God, it's great. I absolutely enjoy it. He is a damn baby. It's hilarious.
So Mike's the same way. He's got a baby face.
It's like watching a football game. You got 11 hairs on each side. I'm just saying.
But he But Mike can grow like a full mountain man beard,
Right.
like in
I
like
could
3 months.
I couldn't actually fill mine in until late 40s, early 50s. I'm
Really.
just saying. It took me a minute.
So when he's not in school, because he goes to a church school, so they have to be clean shaven. That's part of the dress code. I think they might be changing that because beards are back in fashion. It's a weird thing anyway.
Right.
Basically at church schools, it's whatever the business professional look is for that era. So like if you look at the leaders of the church from the early 1900s, even, they all had the beards because that was what businessmen had. And now we're getting back to that, so it might change. But so he grows this beard when he's at home, just fricking out here. Doesn't even groom it. Just, I think he might have birds living in there sometimes.
Nice.
And then before he goes back to school, he shaves it, and he looks like, I'll say it. He's not listening anyway, so I'll say it. He looks like a manly man with that beard.
Donna, share that with him.
When he shaves it, he's got a baby face, and I just think it's
Aw.
hilarious.
Right.
So now that he's married, the question is, does his wife prefer the beard or not the beard?
Hey now.
That's the question. So
That is the question.
We'll see what he grows into.
I gotta tell you. So I'll ask Rosie, hey, does this thing bother you some days? She's like, does it bother you? I'm like, that's not what I asked. She's like,
I lost
you
you there
do
for a
you.
second.
She's like, you do you, and I'll be okay. I'm like, dang it. So, I mean, you know what she's doing there. I can't gripe at her when she cuts her hair short because I don't like when she cuts her hair short personally.
Mm-hmm.
I got reasons we won't talk about. And I can't help it. It just spits out. So sometimes she'll like cut it way up here, like, right at the base. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not a fan. But you know what? It makes her happy. She likes it. It makes her more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just saying. I just went off on a real weird rail again.
Craig's asking a good question here.
Yes. So while Jeff is choking, is that year and ending business wise where they anticipated? What could you have done better this past year? I'm going to just elaborate a little more to make your business year better. I think that's fair. That's a good question.
Yeah, that's something to reflect on, and that's kind of what we're talking about. Is you want to really reflect on that, and then go into next year with those thoughts in mind. Make some changes. Chris says better than anticipated thanks to our community. Thank you for that. Yeah, I got a little emotional there, Craig.
Right.
You actually asked a good question. I got emotional.
So Tim said, I'm not sure if I could have done anything different, but my bills are getting paid. My truck is still running and I'm enjoying being payment free. That's fair. Chris has said, he's done better managing his 70 to get better recaps. There you go. I don't want to work that hard, bro. I don't like recaps, but hey, you do you. Tim said, yeah, this community has definitely helped me this year. Craig's like, awesome, Chris, cool. No, but seriously, I mean, look, to toot our horn, our community is fabulous. Like, we'll get someone who's really down on something and they're struggling with one thing, and community's like, hey man, have you tried this? Have you tried this? Or, someone's like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. Like, whoa, slow down, bro. I did it. He did it. They did it. And this was the outcome. And it was pretty much repeatable in a negative manner. Yep. Right. Maybe slow your roll, dip your toe. I'm just saying.
What I like is if someone pipes up about something that I haven't done, I'm like, ooh. And then some other people are maybe skeptical, but they're like, ooh.
Right.
This happens with some of our members more than others, but I'm like, dude, you should do that and tell me how it works. I'll totally let you experiment on yourself so I don't have to. I'll put that out there.
Hey, Mike,
I
you know
mean,
what? That's better than a lot of people. He said it's been okay. Bills are paid. No collections calling. There's a lot of people
yeah,
that can't say that right now. Tim asked, or Craig asked a good question. Tim, are you saving your former truck payments, or at least part of them, or at least half? Are you saving some of that? Because that's a good plan. You know,
yeah,
it's something that a lot of people don't do, and it's something Jeff and I talk about when we start talking to people that are getting ready to pay their trucks off. Is we're like, hey, set some of that money aside that you've been making in truck payments, and keep that going into that account, right?
yeah.
Keep that
Ideally,
there.
really, when you have a paid for truck, I recommend that you. And I don't know what the current market is on this, so you'd have to find out. Find out what it would take to completely replace the transmission,
Right.
and that should be your goal for how much money to hold back in your business savings account. You want to be able to stroke a check for a transmission, because that way, if the whole truck blows up, you've got a really nice down payment on a new truck if you need to do that.
Right.
Or if the transmission goes up on you, you have that money to stroke a check and get a new transmission. You're not out of business.
Hey, and Tim responded to Craig. No, Craig, I don't know where that money is going, to be honest. Might be going toward paying more towards my debts. And you know what? That's okay too. I mean, look, we're not
Yeah.
there on the day to day, and we all have spouses and things that do things behind us, because without those people supporting us and making sure those things are handled, sometimes they just don't get handled. Let's be real. So, but that's okay. Identify the thing, and maybe you take a couple minutes to find out where it's going, Tim. So at least you're aware.
Yeah, I would want to know where the money's going, and if it's going towards the debt, that's great, because I think being completely out of debt, including your house, is the single best way to retire in these United States.
That's funny, Tim. He said, I've been wanting to make and run a budget, but my wife just chuckles. So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, I don't understand our finances, Charlie. Everybody knows that.
right.
Donna does it all, and I get confused and angry when I ask about it. So I've gotten to the question that I ask her is, how much more money do you need this month?
Right.
Then what I'm really saying is, can I come home or do I need to stay out?
Right.
That's the nature of trucking, right?
Right.
Someone mentioned earlier, I can't remember who, but someone mentioned that they've been out since last September or something. I don't know. The longest I've ever been out, Charlie, is 4 months,
That's a long time.
and that was when I was doing that Opelika stuff.
Right.
And there was a reason. We were making money. Don and I were actually just talking about that today. The last time I was out, as much as I've been out this year, was when we were working Opelika, but that was a $3,000 a week net profit to the truck.
Right.
So why wouldn't I stay there until they kick me to the curb? You leave an account like that when you're doing surge, guys. And for those of you that aren't at Swift and don't know what surge is, it's when dedicated accounts need help. So they're willing to bring you in at your normal contract rate instead of the contract rate for the account, which is normally lower. And so they'll use you until they don't need you anymore and they kick you to the curb.
Right.
And I was able to stay there for 4 months at one point. $3,000 a week is what I was making profit, which for working for a mega carrier, that's pretty dang good.
Right. As a solo.
Okay, so Dennis, September was the last time he was home. So I guess I was there for Halloween. That was the last time I was home.
Like that, Chris. My wife has a hard rule of how many weeks I'm gone. I need to make enough to stay home a day for each week. That's fair.
Yeah.
And we're all doing what we need to do. We all have different requirements, and we all need to understand and accept that. Because I mean, look, if I go work 2,000 miles this week, with Rosie and I, people are like, that's garbage, bro. We have different requirements than a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
We have things that we do, things that we don't do. And they're okay. I mean, we're living our life. We're living what we enjoy, right?
Yeah.
And when we do need to make more money, guess what? We go work a little bit more. Crazy talk, I know.
Yeah.
I don't demand that they pay me more. I just go perform more work. Whatever. Tim said I was hoping to run surge at Bush Beans again this month, like I did 2 weeks last year, but I wasn't informed of any surge because I'm sure Craig Matt would have said something to me. That account's been a trip, but yeah, they'd be able to. They'd be able to talk to you about it. I know. Oh Lord. Tim, I found that she's buying more $7 coffee than Starbucks. And you know what? You're probably making her happy for it. Let's just be real.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it either, but whatever. But you know what? The coffee I drink is Starbucks in K-cups. Just saying. Cinnamon Dolce. That's my girly coffee. People look at me like, bro, what is wrong with that? That's not coffee.
So a relatively new product on the market, Charlie, and I've been wondering why this wasn't a thing for several years, because I don't generally drink coffee.
Right.
Is brewed cacao. They roast it like coffee, and cacao is what they make chocolate out of, if people don't know. And grind it like coffee, then you brew it like coffee. So I'm interested in trying that for my little bulletproof keto thing. See how that works out.
Chris, I used to think that too. It ain't the case, bro. He said, Charlie, if I lived in Florida, it would be a vacation every time I went home. I live in an amazing tourist location, right? On the Florida nature coast, as they call it. One of the better manatee viewing and swimming with them and all that weird stuff, right? I'm a mile from it, walking distance through town. I got things to do, man. I got stuff I got to get done around the house. I'm taking I'm basically coming home on the 23rd, I think it is, Jeff. Monday is, I believe Monday is the 23rd. Yeah, because Christmas is Wednesday. So I'm coming home on the 23rd, and I'm not going back out trucking to work until the 2nd or 3rd of January. I need to get my bedroom floor done. I need to get this new 10 or 9 by 12 carpet put back in my little office here. I've got some things that I need to get done. I've got some business stuff that I'm working on the side of that. I've got a whole bunch of face-to-face conversations that I need to have with some other people about some business and some opportunities. And so, it seems like whenever I have the time, it's not vacation time for me. I mean, I need to make more time for that, but I am going to work in some of that during this time off.
I know 2 incidences where your home time was absolutely not a vacation.
Right.
This year. There's that too. We've talked about that. It doesn't matter where you live. Natural disasters occur. For me, it's snow. Like we'll go to bed sometimes with no snow on the ground at all and wake up to waist deep snow by morning. And then we got to wonder how much weight is on the roof because we've got solar panels up there and this and that. Oklahoma, where my sister used to live, tornadoes. Charlie's got the hurricanes and tornadoes, apparently.
Right? Good Lord. Craig said, Tim, no surge, unfortunately. Chris said, how do you find out about surge customers? Honestly, it's word of mouth or giving those types of accounts a call and letting them know, hey, I'm going to be in the area. I was wondering if you guys need any help. And when you're there, really shine, man. Do everything.
Yeah, for both.
Remember you.
For both Opelika, Alabama, and what's the one in Missouri, Charlie?
Mobley.
No, the other one.
I don't know the other one.
Anyway, I had their numbers, and every once in a while I would call them. Yeah, Harrisonville.
Wow, that hurt.
I would call them and say, hey, you guys need some help? I'm in the area. And sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no. The one in Moberly would generally give me a time frame too, though. Not Moberly, the other one. Whatever. Frickin' Missouri.
Harrisonville.
They would say, well, only for about a week or 2. Okay, well, that's fine. I'll come down and help you out for a week or 2.
Right.
And Opelika was always, well, probably for 2 weeks, and then I'd be there for a month or 2. It just that one was weird. But here's the key. If you get called into one, take it. Don't even think about it. Just take it.
Right.
Start building a relationship with those people.
Let them know you're hungry.
And then do a good job for them. The reason why I was able to stay on Opelika for so long, I talked to the guys and I was literally doing a load and a half to every one load that their people were doing, by the numbers. So I'd created value because I was running my clock out every single day. Just, hey,
Right.
I would get back to the DC and say, what else you got? I've got like 5 hours left. Oh, we got this one that's only a 50-mile and 3 stores. Oh, can I do that in 5 hours? Yeah, probably. Let's do it.
Right.
And then I would get done with my week, right? And I would be at like 2 minutes left on my 70. It was crazy, man. I could tell you I absolutely enjoyed my 34s when I was doing that.
Right.
Absolutely.
Chris said, yes, it would be warm all the time. I hate the cold. Bro, no, that's what I used to think. And then, it's 20 something degrees and I live halfway down the dang state. Okay, granted, it's not for the entire winter. I get that. I mean, today we were probably, I don't even know what today was. Let's see what it is right now. It's 71 degrees right now.
It's 34 here.
The high tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Tomorrow, high of 79. But it was cold last week. Like we were in the 30s and 40s, and people think that doesn't happen down here. And I assure you, it absolutely does. And it hurts because you're thinking it's going to be 70 degrees year round. Mike said Target kicked him right off over to Academy. There's one way to get into another account. I just said I live in Florida and I'm super jelly of where Charlie lives. It's funny, and I don't get to go do the things that I'd like to do locally. Honestly, because it's here. I don't know. You take it for granted. Let's see. Let's see. Tim said the load board ended up being good for these past few weeks, though. There's a question for you, Jeff. I'm going to star. I just said, anyone want to work? Any words? Pick some. Go.
Anyone want to work, search for me and stay in the Southeast? I have spots.
I could not get past it.
Yeah, that was tough.
You hurt me, Ida. Yeah, so if you're a Swift person and you want to work surge for a little bit down in the Southeast, there you go.
Yep.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
So I'm going to answer Wimpy's thing because he finally decided to not be disrespectful. I'm just going to put that out there, Wimpy. We don't do that. How many years to recoup the investment on solar? I'm going to tell you, I'm pretty open about this, Wimpy. It's a freaking scam.
I love that answer.
It's a scam. The municipalities don't pay wholesale for the energy. They pay you like 10 cents on the dollar. So it's true that I don't have an electric bill for half the year, but I always have a solar payment until that thing's paid off, and that takes 20 years. So when I penciled it out, if I paid the note off early, I'm looking at probably about 25 years to return on investment on that. It's not what they sell you, so be careful. I think that, so we got ours like 3 or 4 years ago now, and I think that there's some more reputable people out there selling it that are a little more honest, but definitely crunch the numbers and see what the return on investment would be for you if you're looking at it. We are not happy with our deal. I'm just going to put that out there. And like Donna says, it's ginormous. It covers our entire roof. So one of the things I might do is get like a power wall from Tesla or something like that so that we can at least keep some of our electricity. That way, when the power goes out, we still have full electricity for a couple of days on that system. Oh, the payments are enormous too. Well, sort of. It's like $380 a month, but it's more than an electricity bill would be. Maybe not in the summertime with the air conditioning that we need in Utah, but I don't know. It just does not pencil out the way they sell it to you.
There's something. Oh, hey Ida, want me to send you a link? You could tell these guys about your opportunity down here in the Florida area. Just saying, if you'd like to. Otherwise, you've got questions in the chat, lady. Just saying, scroll. I'll absolutely let you on here if you want to come talk about it, though, for real. I got lost, Jeff. I apologize.
My brain's starting to not brain so well. Tired.
I'm not braining. I don't. You know what? Everybody loves having a pool. I don't want to take care of a pool. If I'm gonna have a pool, I need to have a pool person.
So it was nice to have a pool at the house that you rented for us, Charlie.
Right?
We didn't have to pay. We didn't have to take care of it.
Exactly. We just drag our dirty feet in it, and someone else had to handle it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you know, Colton just put a pool in at his place, and I'm waiting to hear the horror stories of having a pool in Utah. Because you know that sucker's frozen solid right now if you didn't.
Oh my gosh.
Because there's got to be some stuff you got to do where the temperatures get into the negatives.
And if it ain't, he's paying some money to keep it not.
Yep.
If it ain't, boy, I'm on fire. Chris said, Charlie, will you adopt me so I can run for Ida? Oh, man. I'm 100 miles from the DC. I'm just saying, it's kind of a pain. Big old yawn, Jeff. Look at that. God, I hope somebody screenshotted that right there because that was great.
You can go back and screenshot it later.
Right. Someone's going to text that screenshot to me here shortly. I promise you.
Oh, man.
Look, yeah, I don't have to adopt you. She'll take you. Oh, man.
There's a joke in there, but I don't know what it is.
There's multiples. Trust me. Ida's going to need a snail cabana boy soon. Just saying. That's only those in the IYKYK, as the cool kids say.
Okay. Acronyms. Are you the government?
Where are we going? Where are we going? Where have we been? Craig, get us back on track, bro. We're putting it up on you today. Exactly, Dennis. If you have a pool, then you end up with gators swimming in it, right? We're sliding.
I can't.
We're sliding.
You know, when you get tired like this, you lose the ability to censor yourself.
Right? And I'm coming out of a migraine earlier that actually required me to take a shot. I'm just saying, I'm already in a weakened state. Mike, my power bill in Texas runs about $700 a month. That's about where I'm at in Florida.
So, Mike, is that consistent year round? Because if it's consistent year round, and being in Texas, you probably might be in a better position than I am, because in the wintertime, my solar panels are covered with snow. So I'm not getting any power generation in the wintertime. So that's part of the issue. If you've got year-round coverage, I don't know. It might be a different calculation for you. So that $440 a month might not be too bad for the solar payment if you've got year-round solar functioning solar.
I'm gonna do a thing. I'm gonna put someone on the spot. It's gonna be great. Chris said he's solo. Charlie can give you. I can give you his information but he's very interested. But yeah, he is solo. I mean, our focus is teams, and it's a weird operation when you're solo.
I thought he was doing Bush. Something happened with that account?
No.
Oh, I thought it was Craig. Sorry. Craig is who's up on the screen right now.
Right. Craig, hold that thought. I'm going to say, hey, Craig, are you parked? Wait, don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Only answer that if you are parked.
Right.
How's that?
Lord. Oh, man. I'm trying to set people up. I got to do a thing. Where the hell is his email? Do I have him in this one? Nope. I got to find the right email address to send Craig an email.
It says to just call the office in the morning. So Craig, give him the number to the office and he's good. I don't think we want to put it in the wild though.
There he is. See,
remember what happened to certain recruiters when they put their number out on other channels.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Oh, snap, crackle, pop on the neck. Yeah, that's happened to me too.
You're welcome.
That's happened to me too, Tim. I mean, if there's no real damage, he says he had a guy bump his trailer while backing in a spot next to me at a Love's last week. Only scratched the metal near the bottom, a bunch of other scratches all over, so I just let it go. Yeah, I mean, if there's no real damage, I don't really care much. Now, I will get under there and check the cross members just to make sure. But if there's truly no damage, there's no reason to end a guy's career, I don't think. Because in this environment these days, that's a possibility, right, Charlie?
Yep. Abso-freaking-lutely. I got to do this before I forget.
Mm-hmm. So, Mike, if you do have year round, I don't know, that's a different calculation than mine. Because Donna can tell you better than I do because she's got the purse strings, but I'm not sure when in the winter we stop producing enough energy to pay for itself, so to speak. But if you're at $700 and you get year-round coverage, and we have enough solar to completely wipe out the electric bill itself, and put a surplus onto the grid, right? So, yeah, I would. For you, might be different. I'd look into it. I'm bitter because I was sold kind of a bill of goods in my situation. So take it for what it's worth. I actually believe in the newer technologies. I even think that, we might see actual battery-powered Class 8 trucks sometime in the future, just not now.
Right.
The technology's got a ways to go. But anything that and here's the thing, Charlie. You know how they sell this stuff. You're saving the planet. Can I be honest for a second and piss off about half our audience?
Right.
I give a crap about saving the planet. But you sell me a product that will increase efficiency, lower my overhead, and increase my bottom line. I'm all about that. I'm a dollars and cents guy. And if you look at the history of the EPA and the industrialists that head to head for a long, long time now, right? The coal industry is probably the biggest offender as far as pollution goes. Did you know, Charlie, that when the EPA came out with its rules and said, if you're polluting this much, you have a fine?
Right.
Coal companies said, okay, we'll just pay the fine.
Right.
That's how that started. And then an engineer figured out a way to take the emissions from a coal-fired plant, recycle them, kind of like an EGR in a diesel engine,
right?
Reburn it to get a little more energy out of it for the boilers, and then have a cleaner exhaust.
Right.
That's when you started seeing coal-powered plants become clean, when it made sense financially for them to do so. Because they installed that system, and all of a sudden their efficiency went through the roof. They made more profit. That's when they started being good corporate citizens, quote unquote. So you want to save the planet? Invent something that makes it cheaper to run business, cheaper to run a car, cheaper. The side effect is we have a cleaner environment.
Dang.
But that's not why people do things.
Right.
You look at some of these regulations, and I mean, if you're at a certain income level, fine, buy solar. It's no skin off your back. You're saving the planet, whatever. But what about people working at Walmart? Are they going to be able to afford that? No. And how is government incentivizing people to do this stuff? By jacking up the rate of electricity on people that can't afford electricity as it is. And so obviously cannot afford solar panels. That's not right.
Here's a weird question that popped in my head because this is how my brain works. So they say that the emissions in the newer trucks is lower than that of older trucks, right? And we're taking the particulate matter, running it back through the motor, reburning it to make it smaller particulate. Then we're running it through the DEF and the DPF system, where we're reburning it again to make it smaller. Is it, let me ask this question, because maybe somebody actually knows this. Is it really creating less particulates, or is it making particulates that are so small that they're not as measurable? Because aren't we just reducing the size of the particulate?
I know the answer to that, but I don't think that I can explain it.
But it sounds fascinating to me. Hey, let's go to Craig's thing. So Craig's not in a signal-friendly spot right now. So I want to turn the show over to him. He says, what is your number one goal for 2025? And have you written that goal in your journal? Because he's in the group and he knows what he's talking about on this stuff. And he and Mark had a conversation this week about saving $250 a week. That's $13,000 a year. There was another conversation where someone was talking about, if you could save scroll away $500 a week, that in 6 months, you've got same number. He said 12,000, and I said, well, there's 4.3 weeks in a month. It's 26 weeks, so it would actually be 13,000, not 12,000, but whatever. I was totally wrong before that because I couldn't read. It was funny, and I'm like, bro, that's not the right number. And he was totally right. I was absolutely wrong, but it was cool. But yeah, so I mean, what are your guys' plans for this year? Let me get off this and see if anybody's popping up over here. James said he's thinking about doing solar in Mexico. Well, the DEF system doesn't fit that bill. Chris said. Mike said in the summer we had one that made it to 900. Me too, Mike. It sucked. I was not a fan. I typically bounce between really high 500, low 600 to 750, almost 8. But when I get that really high one, man, it hurts my feelings.
Yeah, so we were just talking. Yeah, I want to have this conversation, and you can't see my cursor, can you? No, because we're not. Anyway, yeah, the journal thing, man, so powerful. Most people, most of you guys, I understand, won't do it. You have whatever your reasons. There's always a reason, but I just want to encourage people, keep a journal. Yeah, we're not talking about Dear Diary, Marsha here.
I don't have a reason. I have an excuse.
That's true. You have an excuse, and we've talked about it.
Excuse.
But yeah, it's almost like magic when you start journaling, because what you're doing is you're holding yourself accountable. If it's in writing, you can't escape it unless you throw the journal out. That's just cowardice.
Right.
I'm going to be transparent. Do I do it every single day? No. I have my days where I'm just not into any of this stuff, right, Charlie? You have those days too. And then there's days where I'm on fire to the point to where I call Charlie and say, I had an epiphany. And Charlie says, what's that mean? I don't know that word. Just trying to wake you up there, Charlie.
That's an epiphany. I know what that is. That's that lady from that song. Well, I said, what about breakfast epiphanies? I said, I don't know the rest of the words here.
All right. But yeah, it's a powerful thing. And you can go back and, people that are anal about it, like Matthew McConaughey, believe it or not, the actor. Yes, the actor. He's been keeping a daily journal since he was like 15 years old. And he wrote a book called Green Lights. Charlie, did you ever listen to that one?
No, it's on my
I
list.
mean, I give it a solid okay.
I just like hearing the guy, honestly.
He's an actor, so he really inflects his voice really well. So it's kind of hard to hear with a truck running. I'm just going to warn you about that. But the impetus for this book, he literally went out in the desert with his box of old journals and sat out there for a month in the desert reading through his journals, and he came up with the idea for this book. Yeah, it's got a lot of his life story in it, which is fascinating and whatnot. But that's the power of it. You can look back and you can see. I saw a thing today, and a lot of AA people post stuff like this, right? I'm not where I want to be, but I'm proud that I'm not where I was.
Right.
When you keep
That's
a journal, you can look back and say, "Oh, I wouldn't even be friends with that dude. That dude was a jerk."
Right.
But I like me now. I'm doing
Yeah.
better. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Oh.
So put a number on it, Michael. Matt Fowler says, Michael, in 2025, spent more money away than I did this year. So here's the exercise for you. I'm going to personalize this. You're getting free coaching here. How much money did you save in 2024? Write it down. How much on December 31st, how much is in that savings account that you use to save money with? Now you've got your goal. You want to save more than that in 2025. How much more?
I was
$100?
saying,
You know, 25 cents is more.
10%.
How much more? I like using 10%, Charlie.
Right.
I like that.
It's biblical.
So it is. Write it down so that you can't escape yourself. Write down what you saved in 2024, clear and free, and then say, I want to save, say, 10% more. Write that number down. And then you've got easy week by week. I have to save this much each week to meet that goal. And then when you have that negative week, which happens for most of us because truck breaks down, no freight, whatever, then you can say, okay, I missed a week. Now how much do I need to save each week? And readjust.
Right.
It's important to adjust as time goes on. You know, Charlie and I have talked in the group about some things in our businesses that didn't pan out the way we thought they would.
Right.
And so what did we do? Did we give up on the dream? Did we give up on the vision? No, we adjusted our expectations for the coming year. We said, okay, we didn't meet that goal this year. Okay. Can I honestly say that we did everything we could to meet that goal? I got to tell you, Charlie, no, we did not. And so Charlie and I have some internal coaching to do.
Right.
Figure out, okay, so what do we do different in 25? How do we build out that part of the business so we don't have a repeat of 2024? Now we see the potential in some things. Now it's time to go grab it. Trucker Tim might do or will do some more research into leasing another truck and hiring someone next year. Yeah, and you know, as you get deeper into that, you know, give me a call and I'll walk you through what the business model actually is. Because well, you know, Charlie, I even asked them, how do you justify this with AB5? You know what they said? Oh, we don't really. Okay. Well, walk me through what it is.
Right.
And as they walked us through, I'm like, wow, okay, so, yeah, I'm a contractor, but not an owner. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Legitimately so.
And it works. It passes the legal sniff.
Right. And, you know, it has a couple components, Tim. I'm renting the truck from them. So I'm not even in a lease. I don't have a hope for ownership. which is different for me. It's kind of killing me actually, because I do like the ownership component. But because I'm renting the truck from them, because they don't tell me what to do, and I'm responsible for enough of the operation to where I would challenge anybody to tell me I'm an employee. That's what it boils down to. So, and we can run numbers on that, what that looks like here and what it might look like at Swift with IEL.
Hey,
I think the biggest advantage to doing a small fleet over here is this, Charlie. Panther has a program where they feed you drivers.
yep.
They recruit for you. So if you need a driver for a truck, you go say, hey, I need a driver. And they say, hey, what region are you looking at? You say, hey, Georgia. I like drivers out of Georgia.
Right.
All right, here's our list of people that have applied and passed the background checks for Georgia. And then it's up to you to recruit them, but they have drivers for you to recruit.
Right.
And I think what it is so if a driver for you stays for more than 90 days, you don't owe Panther anything. If they quit within that 90 days, you owe them for the background checks, which is about $2,000. That's a pretty good program.
Yeah.
Something that we might need to discuss with Swift.
Right.
I'm just saying, now that we've seen it in action. Because that's the thing, small fleet owners do make more money for the carrier. Absolutely. The question is, how do you keep small fleet owners happy so they'll stay? Prime is going to have a rude awakening here pretty soon, I think. A lot of small fleet owners over there, they're going to be like, inward facing camera, I don't think so. So.
Tim says, I just know I won't do expedited should Panther be in my future. I just know I won't do expedited should Panther be in my future.
Why not? That's where the money is.
There is good money there.
And,
team expedited is key.
Yeah, team expedited is the most amount of money. That's why I'm trying to recruit. And I'll put it out there again. I know we have our tens of viewers here, but if you are a team already, preferably same household.
It's best bet.
That's the best. And you want to get into expedited, PM me on the Facebooks or whatever. If you have my phone number, just call me and I can get you hooked up. My fleet owner is wanting to grow, but again, the driver issue, right? I've brought one husband and wife team over, and Sean, and that's Bear Hunter that came over. Yeah, good money, right, Bear Hunter? Once you get established, I'm going to say that once you get established, Bear Hunter's doing life sciences, which is medical stuff. And the key is the reason why you need a team for it. And I just want to explain this real quick, Charlie. It's not that you're getting team mileage loads necessarily. Okay.
Right.
It's that load has to get from point A to point B in a certain amount of time. So if one of you gets tired, sick, whatever, the other person takes over. The other component is you want that truck to be available for dispatch 24/7. Okay. Because some of these loads pick up in the middle of the night, then the next one might pick up at noon. You got to have that truck available to work 24/7. Now, because of that, they pay more. And that's where Bear Hunter's making his money. Not, he was complaining at first, and I'm just going to call you out a little bit, Bear Hunter, because I want people to understand. The challenge that he was having, Charlie, was, man, these aren't even team loads. I could do this by myself. Well, now he's on sort of a kind of dedicated run where the truck's turning, and legitimately needs to be available at a moment's notice. Well, now he's starting to see, but that rate, holy crap, is making him money. Same thing with a solo truck. Someone was asking me about a solo truck that you own. Solo operation, the reason it's hard is because I can reliably do about 600 miles in a day, but then I have to shut down for 10 hours. And so I miss out on opportunity because the truck is not available.
Right.
So it's very difficult as a solo.
And you literally might wake up one morning. Let's just say you wake up at 6 a.m. and you're between loads. You're just awake now, right? And you're like, oh, no load. And you're doing things, I don't know, watching TV, playing games, working on your business plan for the next 5-10 years, something, right? And you did that all day. And come 4:30 p.m., they're like, hey, we got a hot load, bro. Needs delivered by morning, 500 miles away.
Yep.
That makes it tough as a solo. As a team, you're
Yeah,
like, we're hot. We're going. We're out.
And I've talked to both my CFO, who is Colton, and the fleet owner about that. I'm like, when the truck's running, I make bank.
Right.
It's a really good rate, guys. But as a solo driver, it's hard for me to keep it running because of the way the deliveries go. Like I deliver in Kansas City at 7 o'clock in the morning local on Friday. Okay. And I could stage myself to where I'm only using about an hour of my clock to do that and then go park. Well, what if the only load that's available is in the middle of my 10-hour break?
Right.
Well, I can't pick it up because I can't run it because I only have 4 or 5 hours left on. Or that's a bad number because that would be 10 hours anyway. Right. I only have 5 hours, 6 hours left on my 70 or on my 14. So I can pick it up, but then I can't run it. See where that problem comes in? So it really does. A team operation is really the best way to do it. Yeah, you say that and then it doesn't work though.
Right. There's a lot
it'll
of
be like it'll be like literally you've got to start your pre-trip 20 minutes before that 7 hours is up to actually make on time pickup.
It's really hard, bro, to hey Jason, it's really hard to do that model. Well, especially with the Panther thing. It's really hard. Forward air freight is
if they stay in business.
If they stay in business and he's running, they have a lot of hub to hub, right? Overnight runs, hub to hub, that are absolutely soloable, and it's absolutely expedited. I mean, when it's time to go, you go.
Yeah, but they're all dock out times are 10, 11, 12 at night.
Right. It's all
almost
overnight.
all the time.
I mean, that you're going to work nights, period.
And I'm getting old and becoming more and more solar powered as I get older. Someone had asked me, what's my plan for 25? Do I just tell the truth, Charlie?
Absolutely.
I plan on getting out of the truck, man. My health is not great. I'm constantly worried about whether or not I'm going to keep my medical card at this point. It is becoming tougher for me to meet the diabetes thing. It's what it is.
Diabetes.
Just to eat right while I'm out here on the road so I can keep my numbers low enough to keep my card. My last DOT physical was last year, and my doctor gave me a 1-year card. I did get a year, and that's up in May.
Right.
By the way, Don and I were just talking about that. But he told me, no ifs, ands, or buts. If I can't get my numbers down, he will not sign another card. This is my shot. So now I'm on Trulicity injections and stuff, and hopefully, we'll see. I need to go in for another A1C while I'm on home time this time. But I have that specter over my shoulder, and so I've decided I need to do the things that I need to do to get out of the truck. If I get another year, I'll probably keep trucking. But at this point, I can't guarantee that to myself. So I am making preparations to run the Contractor's Corner business. It's not just the coaching we do. Those of you that know, we have several different things we work on. But just to do that and scale out those other revenue streams for us to pay the bills. It's going to be an interesting year for Jeff. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Chris said he did a Ford Air run when he lived in Indy. He ran at night, Indy to Louisville to Dayton, back to Indy. And I like this. Trucking City Media. Trucking is a season. Keep it water and it will be fruitful. When you experience a drought, make it rain. I kind of like that, man.
Yeah, I like it.
You know,
Can we make that? Can we make that into a meme?
Right? That's a card, maybe even a shirt. I just said, I hope in the near future, when you have thousands of viewers, you still refer to us tens of viewers. Of course we will. I can never forget you people. You guys are what.
Well, that's the thing in what we do, Ida. Once we're profitable and all that stuff, you start getting to the point where you're teaching other people how to build a business like this. And we will absolutely talk about our tens of viewers that we had for 3 years.
Right?
Chris,
Hey,
I have all of that.
A little PSA for next week. I haven't even said this to Jeff. I've been thinking about doing this and I haven't actually iterated it out loud. So next week's show is on Christmas Eve. So I'm not expecting a huge turnout, our normal tens and tens of viewers, not even expecting half of that. But here's what I'm going to throw out. You folks that are out there working, or, hey, if you're at the house, next week's show is going to be light, probably not business specific. But you know what? I'm going to put a link up, or I'm going to offer invites to people who ask for them. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to put a link up because that's just crazy with some of the people that come in here. I don't want the random person popping in here. But if you'd like to maybe pop in the show and be on the stage with us and have a conversation. I mean, heck, maybe we get 10 people, maybe we get nobody, whatever. It's cool. But plan on that. Next week's going to be real light. Christmas Eve was a big thing for Jeff and his family. So maybe we'll see Jeff for a couple minutes at the beginning. But I intend on doing a show because it's our thing and we're going to do a show every week come hell or high water. And I didn't want to move the day, because there you go. So
if you're a jerk like that, you jerk face.
Yeah. Big jerk face. But so I'm going to throw it out there. Reach out to me if you'd think maybe you'd like to be on with us next week and, share some little holiday cheer or something, or, come share some stories and, as they say, fellowship. And, if you're on the road, and you can't be with your family at home, maybe you can spend a little time with the Road Warrior family here, guys, and we'll be here with you and try and spread a little good cheer.
I want to address this. So just because they vetted doesn't mean they'll stay with you. Turnover is real. So we recently learned this because our whole Road Warrior team had a meeting with the fleet owner that I work with. And I had made an assumption that was wrong, that they needed help with their turnover. He's like, yeah, we don't really have much turnover. Oh, okay. So that's really not a thing for this particular fleet owner. It might have something to do with his business model because he kicks down most of the revenue to the drivers. So, yeah.
Give me a second here. I'm going to do a thing. Let me copy that.
Yeah, Craig, I appreciate the advice and all that, but I've done it all. The only thing I haven't done is go on insulin. And that's a step I'm not willing to take unless I have to save my life.
Tell you what, if you're interested in maybe popping on the show next week and being up on camera and stuff, I do ask that you have the ability to use your real face and your real name, guys. Please don't come in with these crazy names, just because, we like to talk to real people here, guys. So be prepared, have a camera, be parked. You can't be driving down the road. It's probably not a good idea. And, if you are driving, whatever, don't stare at the damn camera. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Anyhow, I'm going to put my email address up here that you can send an email to.
But Jeff did it last week.
Right. Drop an email to charlieman.cc@gmail.com. The subject line holiday show. And prior to the show, I will send, once I get it set up, I'll send you a link that will send you an invite to the studio. Just be patient and be aware that we can only have 10 people in the room at any given time. So if you're one of those people, if we get more than 10, I mean, heck, we may not get any, right? Let's be real. But if we get more than that, and you're having trouble getting in, we'll definitely deal with that. You just have to be patient a little bit and watch on the live, and then we'll bring you in as soon as we have space available. So I think that would be fun. I think that might be a fun thing. We'll see how it goes. It could be a complete train wreck. How's that different? Just saying. Jeff gave us an example of what not to do. What's this? I didn't even read this. Don't know fully what you're talking about, but I have to say, if you have a business model built on great trust and reputation that sticks to the truth, and people will stay. Just a thought. Absolutely. No, that in building a fleet.
And yeah, the fleet thing. I think part of Rob is his name. He owns OTR Management Solutions, and he's mostly got his trucks on at Panther. He's got some trucks on elsewhere too, but I think people stick with him just because of that, Charlie.
Right.
Because they know that, like, right now times are lean for us, but nobody's yanking our chain. They're honest about it. So yeah, he indicated to us that probably by April or so, things will pick back up.
There's a lot of dishonesty in this industry and in this YouTube world. One of the things Jeff and I pride ourselves on is being as honest as is brutally possible to some folks. And when we don't know the answers, we will tell you we don't know the answer, but we're going to do everything we can to figure that out. We don't try and fool ourselves. We don't know everything.
And back to the 2025 plans, look for a new podcast from us. It's not going to be about trucking, so to speak.
Right.
But we're going to have a new podcast out there with our coach, Josh Hall, that we're going to be producing. We don't know exactly when that's happening. There's some things that need to be put to paper for that one. And we'll be putting out more of a general business and personal development podcast, along with what we're already doing over at Pod Wheels, powered by Radio Nemo.
Radio Nemo. Yeah,
So,
we've got some things to work out there too. So, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap this thing. We're over our 2-hour mark, and we do appreciate you guys. Seriously, I know it sounds like I'm a little robot on that sometimes, but I honestly, truly do appreciate you guys spending time with us every week and popping in here and sharing your thoughts and your stories and your experiences. And sometimes, we get a little heated and we're like, "You're dumb." And you're like, "No, you're dumb." And we're like, "It's all good, bro." Because at the end,
we do that on the phone with each other every other day.
It's real. The struggle is real. Power. But yeah, Craig, journal. Don't forget to hit the thumbs if you dug the show. If you watched this on the replay, you got any question or anything like that, drop them down in the comments, and we will do our best to answer those questions for you. Again, if you're interested in maybe coming on the show next week, even new people, maybe you've never even seen this channel before, you'd like to come on and have a conversation, or just share a little time with some fellow drivers during the holiday, Christmas evening, drop me an email. I put it up there in the chat. I don't know where the heck it went. I'm gonna look for it again. Oh my gosh, I lost it, bro. Where'd it go, Jeff?
I don't know what you're looking for.
My email address. There it is, right there. Charlie Man, and my name is spelled with an EY, all you heathens. Charlie Man, no space, .cc@gmail.com. Put the subject line holiday show, so I keep an eye out for that, because I get some email over there that honestly I ignore. But I'll know not to ignore that. I'll set a trigger for it. So do that. We look forward to seeing you guys here. Jeff, final thought, final word.
There is no action. There is no traction.
He said it. You guys take care of each other. There's no one out here looking after us but us. We will see you right here next week, Christmas Eve, 6 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday, like every week. You guys be safe. We're out. Let's hit the dang